Welcome to the oversized manuscript box section of the stacks. We tried to store all of our materials here in size designations in order to optimize preservation for a long term. So today we're going to talk about Nurse Safe Sexx. Nurse Safe Sexx was an incredible public health figure in Indianapolis starting in 1985. And we've got one of her posters here, which is reminding gay men to practice safe sex.
Human immunodeficiency virus, or HIV, is a virus which attacks cells that help bodies fight infection, often making a person more vulnerable to other infections and diseases. If left untreated, HIV can lead to acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, or AIDS. AIDS leaves the body unable to fight off illness, and those with AIDS live an average of 3 years after diagnosis if left untreated. While medication today can prevent and/or slow HIV/AIDS-related deaths, treatment can cost upwards of $500,000 in the United States. In the early 1980s, news of HIV/AIDS-related deaths were reported in major U.S. cities like New York and Los Angeles. Understanding that Indianapolis would likely be affected as well, 3 community members, Colby Palmer, Ed Walsh, and Gary Johnson, turned their 1982 Halloween gay bar crawl into a fundraiser for gay men's health crisis in New York City and local AIDS support organizations. Dubbed the Bag Ladies, the participants carried paper bags to collect monetary donations on the bar crawl, as well as use the tour to educate and spread the word about the disease. In 1985, as the death rates from AIDS continued to skyrocket, Indianapolis local Kenn King created the character Nurse Safe Sexx to educate as many people as possible in the Indianapolis gay community and beyond about AIDS and how to prevent it. Inspired by Nurse Lust, a drag character from Chicago, Kenn portrayed the character by wearing a nurse uniform, lacy stockings, saddle oxfords, and full glam makeup. King said that this campy drag persona made him feel like a cartoon character, inspiring him to create a comic strip featuring Nurse Safe Sexx. After contacting the quickly growing Mirror magazine, King reached out to cartoonist Rick Moore to draw the comic strip, using people from the Bag Ladies organization as characters. The further adventures of Nurse Safe Sexx first appeared in the Mirror in December 1985. By March 1986, the strip was also running in The Works and Metra magazines in Indianapolis, and other publications throughout the Midwest. King also started writing a column titled The Nurses Report, where readers could write in to Nurse Safe Sexx for advice and resources. King's mother, Betty King, took on the persona of Hoosier Mom and provided education on AIDS and safe sex alongside her son. Kenn and Betty also provided care to people in the Buddy House, a program through the Bag Ladies for people who were released from the hospital with AIDS, but whose families, roommates, or partners did not want them to return home. The Nurse Safe Sexx comics utilized celebrities, political figures, and local drag queens to share information and comment on the AIDS crisis. King even represented the Bag Ladies nationally in Washington, D.C., attending the National Lesbian and Gay Health Conference and the National AIDS Forum in March of 1986. At the request of conference organizers, King was sent as an example of more lighthearted and funny community education efforts. While King no longer actively does drag, the legacy of AIDS care and education lives on with the Bag Ladies and organizations like the Damien Center. Nurse Safe Sexx was a vital figure in the Indiana and Midwestern efforts of AIDS prevention, and she continues to serve as an example of the power of community support and a little bit of eyeshadow. What makes comics a good way to communicate serious topics? What can comics tell us about the time period in which they were made? How does your community educate and support each other? Thanks for watching, and we hope you join us for what we unbox next. Happy Pride!